I was involved in a discussion this morning with a colleague, and he pointed out something very fascinating. He said, for example, in the war in Russia-Ukrainian war right now, of course, there are prisoners of war in every war, but are there civilian hostages? Or is that a strategy that one army uses against another side, an opposing side in a war, to take civilian hostages as a form of leverage for future bargaining of negotiations, ceasefires, etc., as we're experiencing here in Israel? And the answer really is no. If you look it's almost something that never has happened in the history of war. It's not a common thing that you see at all. And the question is why? And he pointed out something really interesting. He said, because when you capture one Israeli, you've captured the entire nation. There's something about Am Yisrael. There's something about the Jewish people that we truly are one people. We're one family, and we feel it and we know it. We're starting to go into the stories in these parshas about the formation of Am Yisrael. The book of Genesis is all about the groundwork, the background, the patriarchs, the matriarchs, the stories of these great people that led ultimately to the formation of what we call Am Yisrael, a special nation that's been identified with a unique mission in this world to bring light, to export goodness and spirituality to the world. And now in these Torah portions, in the book of Exodus, we begin to learn about the early formation of this Am. And throughout these parshas, throughout these discussions, we see the Jewish people referred to in different ways. Sometimes we're referred to as avadim, servants. We are literally servants of Hashem. And that's one level of relationship that's possible in our connection with the Almighty, is to be servants. He tells us what to do, and we do it faithfully. But there's another level. There's a higher level. Inside the palace, you have servants who obey the king and follow orders, but there's another level, and that is the banim, the children, the sons and daughters of the king. And for the sons and daughters of the king, the relationship is completely different. It's not even similar to that of a slave, of a servant. So we see that the Jewish people are referred to as avadim, as servants. You see that the Jewish people are referred to as banim, as children. But there's another level of a relationship that's possible between the Jewish people and Hashem. This is the relationship that King Solomon describes in his famous work, the Song of Songs, which is all a metaphor and allegory for the relationship between the Jewish people and Hashem. And that is a spouse, a wife. But there's a difference between servants and children on one hand and the spouse on the other hand. The difference is that any individual Jew can become a servant of Hashem or a child of Hashem, depending upon the type of approach you take in your relationship and your connection with God. But a wife, for a Jew to be called the wife of Hashem, no individual can do that. Hashem is not married to any individual Jew. He's married to Am Yisrael, to Knesset Yisrael, to the conglomerate of the Jewish people throughout all of time and throughout all of history. We are one unit. It's not even just something that we say, Kol Yisrael Arevim Zeh Lezeh, we're always there for each other. No, there is a metaphysical, spiritual reality that Am Yisrael is one entity. And that's why when you capture one Israeli, you've captured the entire nation. And unfortunately, our enemies know this, and they know this very well. And that's why Hamas has used, and all of our enemies have used as a strategy of war against us, the capturing of civilian hostages, because they know that we will go to the ends of the world to get these hostages back, that we will make decisions that are terribly fraught with potential danger and lying out future problems down the road, right? These hostages are being exchanged for murderers, for terrorists, 90 of which have been released just in the very area of my home, within 20 miles. Do Israelis feel better going to sleep at night knowing that there are 90 new terrorists going to sleep somewhere in this area? We don't feel better about that at all. We feel scared, and we feel very concerned about have we diminished and eliminated Hamas? It doesn't seem like it. When we pull out of Gaza and these soldiers start coming back, the Hamas soldiers start coming back, it's a terrifying thing to see. But we know that we have no choice, because the Jewish people are a people of oneness. We are an Am Echad. We are one unique nation, and therefore, if you've captured one Israeli, you've captured the entire nation. So we continue to pray and hope that tomorrow we'll see more hostages released. There's supposed to be 4 more hostages released. This country is on pins and needles. Who are going to be on the list? Is the Bibas family going to be on the list? Is the Bibas family even alive? Please God, they are. We don't know. We'll see this play out more tomorrow. But it's anguish that the entire people, the entire Jewish people, are going through together. We have to be strong together. We have to be there for each other, and we'll get through this period of time. And then we'll be able to please God, to do what we're supposed to do in this world, to be a light unto the nations, to share what we have, to share our spiritual knowledge, to share our greatness, to share all the light that we have to bring to this world with the rest of the world, and make this place the place it's supposed to be, the world that it's supposed to be, with our help and Hashem's help. Wishing everyone a wonderful Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom from Yerushalaim.